What's up, YouTube? Blessings to everyone. Welcome back to another video. This morning I was going to peel and wash this pumpkin, and I can't help but to think how beautiful of a pumpkin it is. You know, a lot of time you don't, pumpkin squash, you don't really see such nice flesh, nice, rich, and orange, Sometimes you see them, they're just pale, doesn't really have much life to it, So, it's a blessings. You know what I mean? That attack. But the whole thing is it YouTube that right away I saw the whole idea of replanting some of these seeds, which that's exactly what I'm gonna be doing. Extracting some of these seeds to plant. But it's weird, I always clip my fingers, pretty much. But for some reason I always leave that one. And I feel like if a situation like this, it helps. It's weird, but growing up, for some reason I always leave myself with a little claw, to do something, I mean? I feel sometimes handicapped trying to poke or pick at something and just can't grasp it. So if you ever see my nails, sometimes these ones can be a little bit messy. I'm in the garden. But I try to keep them clean and clip, but not every one of them. There's just always just that one. And that's what it's for. People have made joke, since I've been here, I'm sure many of you may put it into thought, with this pinky being a long nail, but we don't do that type of stuff. So it's just pure, giving myself a little extra grip with something, I don't feel like a handicap. Sometimes I feel like, not to be rude in a sense, using that term handicap, but feeling that, helpless in certain situations. Like, for example, I've seen female, and this is not a gender thing either, but as I said, express female with long nails, go into like a ATM machine, and they can take out their card, so that's why I use that as an example. So it's not necessarily a gender separation in that sense of singling out a female, but obviously mostly female that will wear long nails or put on long nails. But yeah, a lot of time I see them in the ATM, and you may have to help them to retrieve their card. They can pick it, with that long nail. So too much nail can be, a little hindering as well. But this one little one here helped me sometimes to do something that I feel like I don't always get the grip. But anyway, this pumpkin or this squash, some people would say, if I can get this to come in view here. So as you see, from Mother Earth to your table. So this is actually a pumpkin from product of Panama. And as you see, it said Gonzalez Farm right there. Get it back. And I don't know why here we go. Think through is not really censoring the proper movement of like a body. It's not triggering the camera sensor that well. But anyway, as you can see, family owned Gonzalez Farm right there. And it's called a calabaza squash. Make sure I pronounce that well. So yeah, it's a calabaza squash. But this is beautiful, it's healthy, and it's rich. And I already washed my hands, was gonna go to peel. But yeah, I'm gonna peel it afterwards. Oh yeah, look at that. So I'm definitely gonna save me some of these seeds to plant. And that's the thing, this is not the typical type, people carve or that, this is more grown for consumption. Probably won't use all of it, you know, but still gonna save as much, because, you know, seeds can be stored for a while. But if I do plant it, one pumpkin gonna give me a ton of seed again in the future. So, and as you know, you can always eat pumpkin seed, but you know, these for sure. I might say I might put a handful in my soup. That's what we're making YouTube. So, but yeah, look how rich that pumpkin is. You know what I mean? And as I express, the more you know, the more you grow for free. This is literally a free generation of future pumpkin. Oh yeah, this is what we have going on here. We have a couple pot of soup. So that's gonna be the vegan vegetarian option, no meat. You can see a bunch of herbs and spice and the vegetable. It's gonna be cooking done. We have some carrots. Look, zucchini is in there, I can see. Bunch of onion. Little scallion. And look, rosemary, barley, all those little herbs, some Italian seasoning. That's just the you know, some thyme. That's just the first layer though. Some barley. And obviously garlic for sure. But that's just the first base. This one gonna have some meat in it. So yeah. This pumpkin is gonna make it rich, wholesome, and lovely. Oh yeah, YouTube. It's just a blessing. So before I dig into this pumpkin, I just wanted to share with you guys. I'm making that thing potentially damaging my seeds that's sitting down here. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and peel my pumpkin. Ready for the to go in my pot. But check this out. Have I seen this before? Pumpkin growing inside a pumpkin. So basically these was some Halloween carving pumpkin that was on a table. They were using for art. And I pick up a few of them. And that's what came to mind, that I was gonna use them for a little container pot. And I figured that, you know, when I do ready to transplant, this is just something that could just plant into the soil directly, you know, and it would just compose and rot organically into the soil and you know, dissipate. And I also have had some with the more softer pumpkin texture, kind of like this one right here. This one I have that Christmas cactus going, but check this out. This was more that softer pumpkin, but as you can see, it's totally, you know, decomposing and shrinking to this. You know, it's pretty firm. You know, it's almost not decaying at the moment. It's reached to a point of like it's all, you know, petrified, something like that. You know, or, I was gonna say mummified, but you know, but it's almost preserved in the sense of where it does bind itself on the soil and just create this texture that is pretty firm. And you know, it seemed like it's gonna stay for a while, as far as it's not gonna continue to decay. So I'm really surprised to see this reaction and this from this one. So that's good to know, because this, as you can see, this one is a more harder kind of gourd texture pumpkin. You know, almost remind you of those paki, we call it, a gourd. You know, you find them in the warmer region. And not to say coconut, but kind of as well. But you know, coconut is way more hard and more difficult to penetrate than this thing. I could just crumble this with my hands right now, but a coconut, you could never do that so easily. But yeah, a pumpkin growing inside a pumpkin. There's a couple more seeds that was in there, but this one seems to germinate well. But isn't it that's a cool idea, YouTube? Imagine as I said, these were some carving pumpkin that was gonna be thrown out. And I take it, cut it, get rid of the inner part, put some soil in it, as you can see, natural organic soil, and plant pumpkin seed, and I have a new pumpkin seed coming up here. You know, that's cool. You know, that's definitely a useful tip, I feel, and I'm gonna continue to utilize it. It's probably gonna be one of my little signature garden hack. You know, just utilizing other organic material, you know, and put it to good use, and rather than throw them away. So in Halloween season, you know, in the October or whoever it is, you know what I mean? So having these little pumpkin is a great idea. Don't steal my idea too far though. I'm gonna pattern it. It's funny. But yeah, I was also using coconut. I extract some coconut the other day and I did the same thing. I'm gonna share a video with you guys on that one. So if you like the idea, follow along, and you know, to see future video and as I share of the way that I cut the coconut and turn it the shell into a whole flower pot. You know, that's definitely a cool concept as well. And this pumpkin thing, definitely gonna run with it. You know, anywhere I see pumpkin getting thrown out, these smaller one is gonna be my my new planter. You know, and like I said, this one was a pumpkin as well, but this one was a more softer pumpkin, like kind of like this one, but a more smaller. You know, that I think it was a white texture, white color pumpkin. But as you can see, the body of it does shrink onto the soil and create this dense protection covering the soil. You know, almost like it's cool. It's definitely have a cool texture as well. Pretty rigid. And like I said, it seems like it's just turned into just this dry petrified thing that, you know, will stay, I'm sure. It will eventually decay, you know, especially if I try to water it too much. I think the bottom of it is more fragile and more prone to rot, you know, especially if I water it and leave it sitting, you know, there on the surface. So I find out where drying them out is better and they last longer. But this is wild, YouTube, and this definitely an idea I'm gonna continue to execute and continue to utilize. And but yeah, I can almost hear my belly rolling. So that's a indication of my morning hunger right now, that I need to get something in my belly. I actually haven't had a cup of coffee, although you know, I'm not really one that get up every morning and make coffee or, you know, drink it. If it's available, I'll take a cup, or once a while I make myself a little pot. You know, I do make my coffee, you have to boil, you know, use like a French press type of style, but definitely don't like the machines that, you know, make the coffee. Feel like the beans are not cooked enough, and you know, that's why we get gassy too much sometimes. But anyway, this pot, I want it to boil over and start to yeah, nice pot of soup today. And as you can see, this time of year is a good time for that. That's a hot tub, YouTube. It's not being used too much right now. That's just like extra protection, I guess. They use to keep it secure and just more covered. But yeah, and I look a little eyesore, but that's what it is. Still beautiful, but yeah, check out outside. So you can see it's nice day. It's one kind of gritty as it the mosquito net is behind that glass, so kind of show a different texture as far as the camera lens. Yeah, look at all that, you know. Maybe I probably can get rid of the deck. Yeah, as you can see, that's in the side over here. That's all the netting showing that texture. See more is it's a lot more clear with this one. That's the frozen lake across over there, guys. Really, I could have seen some fishermen in the in tents fishing. But yeah, perfect day for some soup. Perfect day to check in with you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and finish peel my pumpkin ready for the pot. Or my squash. A lot of people say I'm just used to pumpkin, especially when I see a good one like this. It's more like a pumpkin, you know. And my cool plants, pumpkin growing inside a pumpkin, and a Christmas cactus growing inside a pumpkin. I'm always utilizing the option of germination, you know, propagation, and just get new plants off of exist ones, or you know, not just from seed. Alright guys, if you like this video, do remember to subscribe to my channel, follow along, be a part of the journey, support, you know what I mean. So just a subscribe won't cost you anything, and I greatly appreciate it, and I look forward to see you on the next video. Alright, peace to the people, love to everyone, blessings to the world. See you on the next one.